Hello, my name is Jolene Weaver. I'm a sophomore here at Murray State and I am a pre-vet vet tech major. My main passion in life is for horses, and that will be what this speech is over. To give you some background, I first started riding, well, I've always had a lifelong passion for horses, and I first started riding when I was 4. I rode with a coach trainer thing for 3 years. Saw no progress or improvement. So I switched to a different coach and I started showing with her. I got my first lease pony through her. I got my second lease pony through her. And my mother worked with her to buy me my first horse. We were out there for 4 to 5 years roughly. We did lots of shows, lots of clinics, lots of everything. Then there was a falling out between my parents and her. So we moved barns again. This time when we moved to a racing barn. So the barn had 60 or so horses at it, and they were all active. 90% of them were active race horses. They were running on our local track, and then she would run them. And if they didn't do great at running, she'd bring them back and restart them as regular riding horses. I did that for the most part. There were a couple other girls who did it as well, but I was one of the main girls who would restart horses under the guidance of the owner and coach. Um, Around the same time that I moved to that barn, I joined Pony Club. Pony Club is a nonprofit international organization to teach youth horsemanship skills, which, if you don't know what that is, it's basically like how to handle them on the ground, how to put wraps on their legs, how to prep for travel. In case your barn catches on fire, how do you use a fire extinguisher? That's essentially what it was. They had bunches of different competitions. In 2014, I actually made it to international championships for quiz, which was basically just remembering a book of things and then spitting it out to a panel of judges on the fly. Got a lot of things stuck up in this head. Remembered most of it actually. Um, and so then we were out at this barn for about 5 years or so, until my freshman year of high school. And then my parents bought a property about 30 minutes away from our house that had a barn and a paddock and whatnot. So my horses have been at home for the last 5 years. So that's a bit of background, um, a bit of my background with horses. Uh, since coming to Murray, I am the vice president of the dressage club team thing. Um, and I also tried out for stock this year and made it. Um, so yeah, in not this weekend, but the following weekend, I have my own two personal horses coming down to Murray so that I can compete them here on campus at our local shows. Um, so my passions. My favorite discipline of riding is English, essentially. Any English sort of riding. Um, I started in the hunter world, which, if you ever look it up, it's the people jumping like the big logs, the fox hunting. Hunters is basically the arena version of fox hunting. I moved to jumpers, which is where you see that's what you see at the Olympics with the big jumps and the fast speed times and stuff like that. And then eventing, which is where you see the three phases. They go from dancing around an arena to in a field jumping big jumps that are 4 foot by like 10 foot, about 10 foot wide, 4 foot tall, big jumps. And then they do the fast and speedy run. I had started doing that right when well, yeah, when I moved to this new barn, that's when I started, or the last barn boarding facility I was at, the racing facility, I had moved into eventing because that was the main discipline of everyone out there, and there's a lot to learn there. And now I mainly ride dressage. Obviously, I'm VP. But I found that it's been really great for me for my mental health, slowing down and coming back into things, getting better. There's a lot that some disciplines won't cover. So when you go into these new ones, that's like a fundamental, and then you can add those, and it just builds your skills in all of them across the board, and it makes you just an overall better and more solid rider. Um, My favorite disciplines are dressage and hunter. Hunter mainly just because I've been doing it for the last 16 years. And then dressage, I've been doing it for the last 2, but I've gotten to a point in my life where I don't like jumping anymore, so the dressage has been like a great overarching thing to work on. Um, yes. I like horseback riding. Obviously, it would be the topic of the speech today. Horseback riding does so much for people. People can use it as therapy, both physical and mental therapy. But one of my absolute favorite things about it is how everything translates into the real world. So a really common translation to say would be actions speak louder than words. Pretty generic, but you can't obviously speak to a horse, so you have to communicate with your body language. Even your emotions, they can read your emotions off of your face, off of your body language. So you have to do that. But my mother's favorite and my favorite is treat them how they should be treated and not how treat them as they ought to be treated, not as they're acting. I have found great success doing that. Um, like I said, all of these can translate into the real world as well. Obviously, actions speak louder than words. But this as well. If you act like people should be expected to do it, they're more likely to do it, and they're less likely to be mean about it. Um, in conclusion, I never see myself giving up on horses. This is my lifelong passion. I have put 16 years into riding. I've got blood, sweat, tears, everything else possible in here. And they teach so much life skills that you can use in other things, as I previously had mentioned. But it really is a big deal. It doesn't sound like a big deal, but it is. Um, all of these factors come together to form why horseback riding is my favorite and my passion. Thank you.